Welcome back. While wildfires continue to burn up in northern Minnesota, businesses up there have really taken a hit, some even having to evacuate. Moose Lake is a popular wilderness destination located off Fernburg Road. It's one of those evacuation zones, and it's also home to Latourell's resort on Moose Lake. Bob Latourell joins me now. Bob, thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
So what's your status right now? It sounds like you were in an evacuation zone. Where do things stand now?
Yeah, we are still evacuated in our area. We've been able to go back there, including today. They've let us check on the place and so forth. I mean, conditions out there look like there's nothing to worry about. There hasn't really been any smoke for a few days, and conditions look good, but you know, that was a little different. The first day it got ramped up.
You were able to go back today along with thousands of others who are in the evacuation go zone, as they call it. You had to go in with accompanied by a Lake County Sheriff's deputy. What was that like, being able to go back to your resort?
Yes, we were able to a couple other times be back there because of some other evacuations. We were trying to get everybody out of the wilderness, and I guess by the term evacuations, it was pretty calm after the first night where we got the folks out of the most affected areas, and then it was just kind of an orderly getting folks out. So even during the evacuation, we were there for a while. But yeah, it's never a good thing when they tell you you have to be out of your home, and so yeah, right now we're located in Ely itself, and yeah, just waiting to be able to get back there.
Okay, so you're in Ely right now. Are you able to still run some of your business even though you can't be at your permanent location?
Other than speaking to our customers, and that's really keeping us very busy, trying to tell them information about what's going on and so forth. That's keeping us very busy. But in terms of actual business and doing trips and so forth, that is all totally shut down at this point.
What's that like for you guys? I mean, this is high season in the Arrowhead region. Summer is when I'm sure you make most of your money. So what kind of a hit has this been?
Yeah, that's definitely a thing that's a concern for everybody in this business right now. At first we're just kind of going through the procedures of everything, helping get our folks back out from the camping areas back out to civilization, as it were. And but since then, now we're starting to some of the realization of how long this has been already and how long it could be. But we're hopeful with the conditions. I am really happy with the conditions out here. We, again, have had very little smoke the last 5 days, a little bit of moisture. They are concerned about things drying out again, as we're in a pattern where we might have some drier conditions, although tonight looks, or tomorrow night looks like we're gonna have some good rain. And we're just hoping for the best and hoping to get back to business as quickly as possible. But yeah, it definitely isn't a good deal when you're shut down for more than a few days. That does start to add up, yes.
Yeah, and I'm sure those cancellations are hitting hard too. And so we always try to remind people, hey, it is blue skies. The air quality is good again. There's plenty to explore in the area. Everybody up there still needs the business. They did announce today that the Boundary Waters will slowly begin to reopen. They're reopening some entry points in Cook County just for day passes, but your reaction to that news?
Yeah, that's something the first closure that we had, that I kind of wrote a message into the Forest Service to keep that in mind. And there's some tools in their toolbox that can help us survive through this, whereas they still meet some of their objectives of being safe and that type of thing. And yeah, we're more than willing to work with things that we can do to allow some of our guests to experience what they're looking to do, but still meeting the guidelines that the authorities are needing to meet as well. But yeah, I do think there is some room to have some things happen here to allow that.
I know that you own a lodge, but you're also an outfitter. Is there any opportunity here to pivot? I'm thinking, in the U.S., in the Superior National Forest, there's plenty of beautiful lakes, portage opportunities, hikes that people can do, and it looks pretty similar to the Boundary Waters. It's just technically Superior National Forest. And then with the news that some of these entry points are opening, has there been any opportunity to pivot your business a little bit?
For us, not so far, just because we're still in an evacuation zone and all of our things that we need to do that are located there. But there may be an opportunity to do some of that later on. There are some spots that we have access to do that. However, again, nothing is like the access that we have to the other areas that everybody is really looking forward to getting back to as soon as possible.
Yeah, they're talking possibly middle of next week, they'll reevaluate those overnight permits. Would that really help you guys out if they started issuing overnight permits again?
Yeah, definitely. We're looking forward to that and hope conditions continue to improve like they have. And again, we've got lots of really good resources on things here with all the staff that they've got on these fires and fighting those fires. And they've done a great job so far, because just looking out our windows, we can tell things are much better than they were. And yeah, we're hoping that continues. And definitely we are looking forward to getting back to going as quickly as we can. And so are our customers. And like I said, we've been busy talking to many of them, and we're hoping that we're able to get them back out here as soon as possible.
You know, I'm curious what it looks like when you go back and visit. You know, you're in an evacuation zone there in the Fernberg, off Fernberg Road. But what does it look like besides, not seeing many people around? I'm curious, what the sights and sounds of that evacuation area are.
Yeah, I mean, it is a little bit different that, there's usually we're busy with customers all day and dealing with them and helping them get out there. And yeah, when we're out there, we're just kind of doing some work on the docks, making sure the boats are in place and so forth. And it's, yeah, very quiet. Although, like I said, you look out on the skyline and everything looks very normal. So not having anybody there to be heading out is a little bit different.
When customers are calling, what are the majority of the calls about?
Just basically trying to get information, and that's our biggest need right now as well from the authorities. Is the more information we have, even if it's bad, we at least have information that we can provide to our customers, and that allows people to plan, because the unknown is almost as bad as the bad news. And yeah, we're hoping just to keep those communication lines open, and so we're able to communicate that with folks, and then they can make informed decisions rather than uninformed decisions or decisions that are based on false news and so forth. For example, you probably had some news of it here where they are set to be closed until October. Well, the way the paperwork works for the Forest Service, they have their closure order that, the way I understand it, it authorizes them, and they file that paper that it's okay to be closed through October. They have that authority. But within that closure order, there's definitely going to be times where they open things up way sooner than that. So trying to get that misinformation off the streets is important right now.
Yeah, some news outlets had to backtrack there on that one. Yesterday, right. It came out that there was possibly going to be a closure through October 1st, and that was just a misreading of the documents. Thankfully, today we heard they are opening up some of those entry points starting Monday.
Exactly.
If there's anything you want people to know, I mean, what's the big message that you want people to hear from up there in Ely?
Yeah, obviously we're all ready here for folks to get back, and I just stay abreast of what the real conditions are and what is actually being said, rather than some of the doom and gloom. We're going to be close till October type of statements. We're hoping conditions make it possible to get back here, and obviously everybody in Ely will have their arms wide open and welcoming everybody back as soon as that's possible.
I'm sure you will. And all the photos I see out of there, it looks blue skies and beautiful. So hopefully the firefighters just continue to have weather on their side and they can get this under control. I know that all the businesses up there would love that. Bob Latourell, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Bob Latourell from Latourell's Resort.